Begin to breathe through your nose, full, even breaths, your ujjayi breath. So you're allowing the air to hit the back of the throat, making a sound, kind of like the ocean or the wind. On your next inhale, reach your arms over your head. Reach the fingers up towards the ceiling. And then we'll hold onto the right wrist with your left hand. Inhale as you lengthen towards the ceiling, and on your exhale, bend to your left. Get a nice stretch along your right side. Just keep the shoulders down away from the ears a little bit. Turn the heart towards the ceiling. And inhale, reach back up, and we'll switch sides. Right hand holds the left wrist, and on your exhale, bend to your right side. Maybe even turn your torso a little bit towards the ceiling. Inhale, reach back up again, and now bend your elbows and cactus your arms. Slight bend in the knees. Inhale, fingers reach again towards the ceiling. And on your exhale, bring your hands behind you and interlace your fingers. Roll your shoulder blades together down the spine and lift the heart. And now bend your knees completely and fold out over your thighs. Let your head release. And if it's available to you, start to reach the arms over your head. Just go slow, especially since this is the first forward fold. And then we'll gently bring our fingertips down towards the ground. You can bend your knees as much as you need to. Come up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, and heel toe your feet apart so they're about hips distance apart. Bend your knees completely, and then on your next exhale, allow your head to release. Just hang there. Yeah, you could rest your hands in the creases of your elbows. Maybe just let your arms dangle. Just keep the lower abdominals lightly pulled in and a slight bend in your knees. And then let your arms go again. Just allow them to hang. Keep a bend in the knees and then roll back up one vertebra at a time. Continue your arms all the way up on that inhale. Then bend your elbows, cactus the arms, arch through the upper back again. Inhale, reach back up again. Once again, bend at the hips, slight bend in the knees and fold. And touch the fingertips to the floor. Inhale, come up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Feel free to heel toe your feet closer together. Okay, bend your knees a little bit and keep your right foot where it is. Step your left foot all the way to the back of the mat and come down to your left knee. So you're in a low lunge and you're on the top of your left foot. Inhale, lift the heart, roll the shoulders down the back. Begin to straighten your front leg. And then on your next exhale, start to fold out over your front leg. Just allow the head to release, reach your heart towards your toes. And then bend your right knee again. Keep your left hand on the ground, swing your right arm back and up, and roll the shoulders open. And then come to the outside edge of your right foot, angle your right knee and toe out, a little bit more of a hip opener. Come to the outside edge of your left foot and sort of reach back for the foot. You can even hover your left hip just off the mat to get a stretch there. Then inhale, reach your arm over your head. Make sure your right knee and toes point towards the front of the mat and bring your right hand down to the ground. Curl your left toes under and then turn all the way to the back of the mat and frame your left foot. Step back into your plank position. And then bend your knees, lift your tailbone high towards the ceiling and come into a modified downward dog. So feet are hips distance apart, and then begin to pedal your feet out. Just shifting your hips side to side. And add a little bit more movement to the hips so you get a really good stretch on each side of the torso. Come up high onto the tips of your toes. You can still keep that bend in your knees. And then on your exhale, bring your heels to the right side of your mat. And then maybe even bend your knees here as you press your chest back towards your thighs. Again, a stretch on the left side. And then inhale, come up high onto the toes, and exhale to your other side. Option to bend your knees. Inhale, come up high onto your toes, and we're gonna roll in and out of plank to upward dog. So it looks like this. Roll the spine out through the crown of the head into plank and then into a modified upward dog. So he's on the toes, roll the shoulders back, maybe even bring the thighs off the floor. And then bend your knees, come back to the modified downward dog, and then back into a full downward dog, bringing the heels closer to the floor. 2 more times, moving with your breath. So roll along the spine. So guys, open up between the shoulders, out through the crown of the head. And And then on your next exhale, lightly pull the abs in, roll back to your downward dog. Okay, on this one, we're gonna roll, but only into plank position. So once you find your plank position, bring your knees down to the ground, modified chaturanga. Come forward, shoulders past the wrists, bend your elbows. Then inhale to upward dog, come to the tops of your feet, and maybe even bring the thighs off the floor. Pull the abs in, roll back over your toes, back to your downward dog. Find the breath again, breathe through the nose. And let's lift our right leg. Reach out through the heel to start. And then bend your right knee, point your knee up towards the ceiling, and bring your foot to the outside of your left thigh. So you're starting to get into your right hip flexor. Look underneath your left arm, maybe see your toes there. Then inhale, lift the right leg again. Get your hips to the same height. And on your exhale, bend your right knee, bring it all the way up to your forehead, round out your back. Place your right foot to the inside of your right hand. Angle your left heel to the center of the mat, and inhale to warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. So arms all the way up on your inhale. Notice the outside of your back foot firmly rooted. Right knee and toes point straight ahead. Now straighten your right leg. Open up your hips to the left and point your right toe in. So see how his heels are slightly out, toes are slightly in. Parsvita Padottanasana. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Keep a little bend in the knees. Fingertips come down to the ground or to your blocks. Come up again just halfway. Inhale, lengthen all the way through the crown of the head. Tilt your pelvis forward. Exhale, fold again. And work on placing equal distribution of the weight on your feet. And then inhale, come back up halfway. Bring your arms out to the sides. Come all the way back up on your inhale. Warrior two on our left. So point your left knee and toes to the front of the mat. You'll angle your back right heel. Open up the hips and look over your left shoulder. Now pivot onto the toes of your back foot. Frame your left foot. Step back into your plank position. Come forward. And let's modify chaturanga one more time. So knees down to the ground. Shoulders, elbows, same height. Inhale, slide to the tops of the feet. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, back to downward dog. Even though you're lengthening the top backs of your legs here in downward dog, also engage your quads. Think of lifting the tailbone just slightly, tilting the pelvis forward slightly. And then look between your hands and we'll tiptoe our feet all the way back up to the front of the mat. Inhale, come up halfway, lengthen out through the front of the head. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold. And then bend your knees and come into Utkatasana, chair pose. So shift your weight just a little bit more towards your heels. Continue the arms all the way up. Spiral your inner thighs down. Then press the feet into the ground and inhale, come all the way back up. On your exhale, cactus arms, bend the elbows, find a little bit of a back bend as you shift your hips forward. Inhale, reach back up again. Slight bend in the knees as you fold into Uttanasana, forward fold on your exhale. Inhale, come up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, lengthen out to the crown of your head. Okay, this time we're going to keep our left foot there. Step your right foot all the way to the back of the mat and come down to your right knee. So squeeze the inner thighs so you protect the hamstring or the hip flexor. Inhale, lift the heart. On your next exhale, begin to straighten the front leg and fold out over it. You can always keep bend in the knee, especially in these straight-legged poses. And then bend your left knee again. And keep your right hand on the ground. Swing the left arm back and up. Twist through the upper torso. Turn your left knee and toe out 45 degrees. Roll to the outside edge of your foot. Roll to the outside edge of your right foot. Maybe even pick up the right hip a little bit as you reach back for the back foot. Then inhale, reach the arm over the head. Pivot back to the front of the mat and bring your left hand down on the inside of your foot. And then walk all the way to the back of the mat. Frame your right foot, step back into your plank position. Full chaturanga this time. So come forward, press out through the heels. Come forward into upward dog. Roll the shoulders back. Pull the mat back towards you. Then exhale back to downward dog. Ujjayi breath. And we'll lift our left leg. Reach out through the heel. Bend the knee, point the knee to the ceiling. Foot comes to the outside of your right thigh. Inhale, lift the left leg again, and bring your hips to level. So you want to drop the left hip down to the height of the right hip, bend your knee, bring it all the way up to your forehead, pull it up high, and place your foot inside the left hand. Angle the right heel down. On your next inhale, come all the way up, Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1. So your back right thigh, it's spiraling inward, even though you're pressing into the outside of your back foot. Begin to straighten the front leg. Open up the hips to the right side. Open up the arms for Parsvita, wide-legged forward fold. Heels out, toes in. Slight bend in your knees as you exhale and fold. All right, so we're going to come up halfway and bring your right hand underneath where your face is. Keep your hips level and reach your left shoulder and fingertips to the ceiling. So kind of like you would in twisted triangle, hips are going to stay level, but you're twisting through the thoracic spine. Next exhale, left hand comes down and switch sides. Each inhale, lengthen from the tailbone all the way out to the crown of your head, and on your exhale, you'll twist. Bring your right hand back down. Slight bend in your knees. Inhale, come all the way back up. Warrior 2 on your right. Right hand toes face the front, heel to heel alignment. Now pivot onto the toes of your back foot, frame your right foot, step back to plank. Either go into downward dog or full vinyasa of chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, and exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And breath. It's so funny, guys, because I'm so used to teaching like this full class, and I keep wanting to go over and adjust Andy and touch Andy.
Yes.
But I'm not, only because of this whole coronavirus thing, because we're trying to be coronavirus warriors, you know, and I don't want to put that out there just yet. I know this is eventually going to get better, and we'll wear like hazmat suits when we adjust people or something, but for the sake of this whole corona thing, I'm going to refrain from touching him too much. I'll do that later. All right, so slight little bend in the knees, tailbone lifts, look between your hands, and step or hop or float to your hands. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold. Back to chair pose, Utkatasana. So bend your knees, inhale, arms up. Palms come together, Parvrita, Utkatasana, chair pose. So left elbow comes to the outside of the right thigh. Hips are right behind the knees. And again, finding that twist more through the upper spine as you maybe even look over your right shoulder. Then hinge at the hips, fold forward. And we'll switch sides. So bend the knees, back to chair pose, Utkatasana. Arms all the way up. Palms come together and we'll twist to the other side. So the hips are going to try to shift over to the right now. As much as possible, line up your knees and get your hips right behind them. And then next exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Inhale, come up halfway, lengthen. And then a slight bend in the knees as you plant your hands to the ground. We'll lean towards the toes. You can always bring your hands further out in front of you, even a foot out in front of you. Okay? As you lean towards your toes, press the weight into your palms. Option here to step back or float to chaturanga. Nice, Andy. Inhale to upward dog, and exhale back to downward dog. All right, let's lift our right leg. Reach out through the heel. Bend your right knee, point the knee to the ceiling, foot comes to the outside of the left thigh. You got the option here for Kamatkarasana, wild thing. You could flip your dog, bring that toes down to the ground. The left leg stays straight for this one, arch through the upper back. Look down at the ground again, bring your right hand down to the ground, lift the right leg back to your three-legged dog. This exhale, bring your knee to the outside of your right arm, touch high above the elbow, then press it back again, inhale. Exhale, bend the knee, bring it to your left arm, touch high above the elbow. Inhale, reach it back again. Exhale, bend your knee, bring it all the way up to your forehead. Come into a plank position, pull the knee up high, place your right foot next to the inside of your right hand. And let's stay on the toes of our back foot and come into a high lunge. So inhale, continue the arms all the way up. Good, so palms come together just like you did in chair pose, twist to your right. So you can bring the left elbow to the outside of the right thigh. The back of your left knee is reaching up towards the ceiling, or you've got the option to have the left knee on the floor Or maybe your left hand's on the ground inside your foot and you're modifying. And then look down at the ground, and let's bring our fingertips to either side of our right foot. Begin to straighten the front leg, lift the heart, inhale. Exhale, hinge and fold. And then bend the right knee again. Shorten your stance. An option here for standing splits, Ekapada Uttanasana. So yeah, you'll lift the chest, keep the hips level, just like a forward fold. Hinge at the hips and fold. So the left inner thigh is spiraling in. He's kind of pointing the toes. You're gonna point and flex at the same time. Option to hold on to the calf or the ankle, or just have your block on the floor. Good. Now slight bend in your right knee. Step all the way back. Toes come down to the ground. Angle your left heel down to the ground. So you've got heel to heel alignment. Prepare for warrior two. So you're going to wind up, arms out to the side, shoulders right above your hips. Inhale, reach forward, right palm comes up, reverse warrior. Slide your left hand down towards your hamstring or your calf. Inhale, come back up, extended side angle. So right elbow can come to the thigh, or maybe your right hand's on the ground on the outside edge of your foot. If you took that option, you could have a block there. And you're pressing the right knee in towards the arm as the right sit bone moves back towards the left heel. And a nice straight line from fingertips to the outside of your back foot. Now we're going to turn this into a really extended triangle, Utthita Trikonasana. So you'll begin to straighten the right leg. If you need to shorten your stance, shorten it. And you could also put a block under your hand. But Andy had to move his hand back maybe 6 inches so he can stack the shoulders. When you're ready, maybe even look up towards your left fingertips. And then bend the right knee again. Come back to Virabhadrasana 2. Straighten your right leg. Turn your right big toe in. Okay? And actually this time, let's turn our heels and toes out and come into horse stance. So palms come together, sit down. And then we'll just warm up the hips a little bit. So he's going to shift his left sit bone towards his left heel. Almost like he's starting to straighten the right leg. And then he'll shift his hip over to the right heel. Now we're going to turn this into warrior two. So turn your left foot to the back of your mat. And arms come out to the side. Back right heel goes back to the front of the mat. Nice. Inhale, reach forward. Left palm comes up. Exhale into reverse warrior. Inhale, come back up, pivot onto the toes of your back foot, frame your left foot, straighten your left leg, inhale, heart lifts, and exhale, fold. Again, you can always shorten the stance in these pyramid poses. And then bend the left knee and step back into a plank position. Either go right into downward dog or move through your full vinyasa. So chaturanga, oh, he's doing a fancy one. Lift the left leg, a chaturanga switch. Inhale to upward dog, exhale back to downward dog. Students in California, you guys remember the chaturanga switch. Now he's got the plank from hell. It's even worse, but we'll get to that on next week. All right, so again, he's gonna lift the right leg, reach out through the heel, bend your knee, bring it to your forehead, step your right foot next to the inside of your right hand, angle the left heel down to the ground, wind up to warrior two. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, find reverse warrior. Okay, we're moving into half moon from here, so you might want to shorten your stance. You might want to grab your block in your right hand. So you're going to inhale, come up, shift your weight to your right foot. Left hand's going to come out in front of the right foot, about a foot and a little to your right side of your mat. Left foot's flexed, and imagine a wall behind you you're pressed up against. Now if you're playing with balance today, you could try bending the left knee and hold on to the big toe side of your foot. And yeah. Just double check, you guys, that your standing knee and foot are pointing straight ahead. Nice. Okay, gently release that by bringing your fingertips to the ground, bring your hips together and touch your knees together and round out your back. All right, now our right foot is gonna stay rooted to the ground, and we're gonna come up into stork, lifting the left knee, lifting the fingertips towards the ceiling. Palms come together. Now bring your left ankle just above your right knee and squat down into figure four. Option here to twist this. So you can bring your left elbow to the arch of your foot as you twist right. Twist through the upper torso. Keep your right foot rooted to the ground. Come back into stork. You got it, Andy. And then into warrior three or airplane into Vinyasa. So hips stay level. Keep a bend in the right knee. Come into your lunge. Left toes come down to the ground. Inhale, arms up. Right arm's going to come down and we'll twist to our right. And maybe you can look back at the right hand. Okay. Now the left hand's going to come down as the right arm comes up. First in Skandasana. So shift your weight over to your right heel. Bend your right knee. Good. And we'll turn this into warrior two on the left. So he points his left foot to the front of the mat. Inhale the warrior two right into reverse warrior. Yeah, so he reaches forward and the left arm extends over the head. And then come back up and bring your hands to either side of your foot. Pivot onto the toes of your back foot. Begin to straighten the front leg. Lift the heart. Inhale. Exhale, fold. All right, let's bend our knees, shorten our stance. Couple options. Stay here, go to downward dog, to child's pose, or we're going to practice a couple handstand switches. So he brings the left foot back just a little bit, lifts the right leg, tap into that right glute. Come up onto the toes of your left foot, swing your right leg up, switch feet midair and land on the opposite foot. So now he's on the right foot, he's going to do the same thing here. Swing the left leg up, switch feet, land back on his left foot. All right, so this time, either go right into downward dog or float up to your handstand. Hold the handstand for a moment. Option to float back to chaturanga. Lean forward, land one foot and then the other if this is new to you. Inhale the upward dog, and we'll exhale back to downward dog. And just take a moment to find your breath. Maybe pedal it out. Do you need to use my towel? I'm making him sweat, guys.
Woo-wee, you're making my butt.
And it's not even hot yoga. It's hot, but it is hot now. Because Andy's here. All right, here we go. So let's lift the left leg. Reach out through the heel. Bend the knee, point the knee towards the ceiling. Bring your foot to the outside of your right thigh. Option for Kamatkarasana, wild thing. Left toes come up by the right hand. Right leg goes straight. Arch through your upper back. Look down at the ground, bring the left hand back down as you lift the left leg again, back to your three-legged dog. Inhale. Next exhale, bend the knee, bring it over to your left arm. Maybe even touch right above the elbow. Inhale, press it back again. On your next exhale, bend the knee, bring it to your right arm, touch high above your elbow. Inhale, press it back again. Exhale, bend your knee, bring it all the way up to your forehead, pull the knee up high, step your left foot inside the left hand. And we're coming into our high lunge. So we'll inhale, come all the way up. Now you always have the option to come down to your right knee, okay? Palms come together and we're twisting to the left. So you've got the option here to have the right hand on the ground inside the foot, it could be on a block, or palms together, twist. Back of the right knees reaching up towards the ceiling as you twist through the upper torso. And then look down at the ground, bring your hands to either side of the foot. Begin to straighten the front leg, shorten the stance, inhale, exhale, fold. And then bend your left knee again, and let's get ready for standing split. So Ekapada Uttanasana. So we'll lift the right leg. Notice how, yeah, he got it. So the right hip was kind of going up. Get it to the height of your left hip. Good job. Either stay just like that or fold just like you would in standing forward fold. So the pelvis is tilting forward. Engage your right glute to help you lift the leg. Engage your left quad to protect the knee. A little bend in the left knee, bring your hands down to the ground, bend your knee quite a bit, step all the way back. Now angle your right heel to the center of the mat, heel to heel alignment, and we'll wind up into warrior two. So you're opening up the hips to the right side of your mat, but your left knee and toes stay pointing straight ahead. Inhale, reach forward, left palm comes up. Exhale, find your reverse warrior. Spread the toes, feel every corner of your feet. Squeeze the feet towards each other. Inhale, come back up into extended side angle. So you have the option to bring your elbow to your thigh or hands on the ground outside the foot. Crawl your eyes all the way up towards your palm as you extend a straight line, fingertips to the outside of your back foot. Inhale, begin to straighten the left leg. Extend a triangle. This is a really far apart triangle, so you can shorten it a little. Just want you to make sure you stack the shoulders. You could actually bring your left hand forward a little bit, maybe. Yeah, and then you could put a block underneath your hand if that works for you. And then a slight bend in your left knee. Inhale, actually bend it completely. Come back to warrior two. And then straighten the left leg. Turn your left toes out, heels in, and to horse stance. So palms come together. Track the knees with your middle toe. Shift your weight to your right heel. Maybe come down a little lower. Yeah. Inhale, come up. Exhale, shift your weight to your left heel. Now hold there. Look at your right foot. Turn it to the back of the mat. Get ready to come into warrior two on your right. So right into reverse warrior. Good. So your left big toe is about a 45-degree angle. Inhale, come back up and frame your right foot. Pivot onto the toes of your back foot. Straighten your front leg, lift the heart, inhale, and exhale, fold. Bend your left knee, step back, either right into downward dog or fancy chaturanga, right leg lifts. Switch feet, woo, find a planche. Inhale to upward dog, exhale back to downward dog. You're feeling spunky today.
I am feeling spunky today.
You're a coronavirus warrior.
It's a spunky day.
It's a spunky day. Alright, left leg lifts, inhale. And then bend your left knee to your forehead, round out the back. Place your left foot to the inside of your left hand, angle the right heel down to the center of the mat. Wind up, Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Then inhale, reach it forward, left palm up. Exhale, reverse warrior. Into half moon. So maybe shorten the stance, grab your block this time in your left hand. Double check, left knee and toes point straight ahead. Fingertips on the ground or on a block. Right foot's flexed. Stack the hips as much as you feel comfortable going, but hold your left hip back. Option to bend the right knee. Hold onto the big toe side of the foot, Trikonasana. You can even lift the left arm if you're like levitating. Gently release. Fingertips to the ground, bend your knees. Bring your forehead to your knees and round out your back here. Just counter stretch. All right, so our weight is back on our left foot. We're going to bend the right knee, come up into stork, reach your fingertips to the ceiling. Reach the knee up to the ceiling. Now bend your left knee, cross your right ankle above your left knee. Figure four, palms together. Stay there or twist to your left. So your right elbow, maybe your triceps coming to the arch of the foot. Kind of like the setup for dragonfly. Woo, there he goes. Or fall or fly. And now then, press into the left foot. Inhale, come back to stork. You got it, Andy. You got this. And then come into either warrior three with arms out in front or Vinyasa, arms out to the sides. Bend the left knee, come to the toes. Inhale to your high lunge. Left arm comes down and we're twisting to the left. Right arm comes down, left arm up, twist to the right. Skandasana on the left heel. Good, so he's down pretty low now. We're warmed up. Point your right knee and toes to the front of the mat, and we'll move it right into reverse warrior. So inhale, and then exhale back. Just double check left knee and toes in the back or at that 45-degree angle. Inhale, come back up. Bring hands to either side of your foot. Pivot onto the toes of your back foot. Straighten the front leg. Inhale. Exhale, fold. All right, so we can hang out here. We can go back to downward dog. We could go to child's pose, or we could come down to the knees and take a break like Andy is.
But you cannot vacuum.
You cannot vacuum. And you know what's funny?
And
This floor needs to be cleaned, and we've noticed that now since we've been doing yoga here. All right, jump switch option, okay? So when you spring up, the leg that's lifted is the one that's pulling you up, guys. It's not about the hop. Okay, so spring up, lift the right leg, switch feet in midair, land on the opposite. Good, and you can look between your hands when you first start, right? If you're taking full handstand, take your handstand, but when you float back to chaturanga, remember lean forward, bend the elbows. If this is new to you, land one foot and then the other, otherwise it's a hard hit. Inhale to upward dog, and exhale back to downward dog. Yeah, take a water break. Where's my water? Darn it. Oh well.
Down dog break.
Down dog break. Child's pose break. All right, one thing we haven't practiced yet is a couple tuck-ups. So setting up for tuck-up, if you want to watch first if this is new to you, or if you want to take it. So you guys notice he came from downward dog. He's tucking up. Notice that big arch in the lower back, and the hips are getting right over the shoulders, pelvis over the shoulders. So he sprung up and held that, and then we slowly jump feet between the hands. Do you want to try that one more time, just in case I didn't see it? Because he's just got unlimited amounts of coronavirus warrior energy. All right, so come to the toes. Slight bend in the knees. Already find that arch in your back. Spring off the feet. Get the hips over the shoulders. Ooh, do it. He did it. He got it. He got it. He did it. Okay, and then slowly feet to the hands. It's different every day, right? Okay. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold. Let's do this. Let's get a little stretch. I just noticed that on the wrist. So heel toe your feet apart, about hips distance, and even further if you'd like. And place your hands underneath your feet so that you get your toes all the way up to your wrist. You might need to bend the knees quite a bit. You can take the feet even further apart. Parahastasana. And if it's available to you in the hamstrings, you'll slowly begin to straighten the legs. Lean your toes into your wrists. Like literally resist that a little bit. Press the toes into the hands and the hands into the toes so you get a little bit of a stretch on your wrist. And we'll gently release that. Come to your fingertips. Come up halfway and lengthen. Exhale and fold. And then a little bend in your knees and let's slowly roll up. But feel your feet rooted, lower abs are in. We'll roll up one vertebra at a time. Continue the arms all the way up. Bring your feet back together. Exhale as you cactus the arms. Arch through your upper back. Inhale, come up again and lengthen. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Now once again, palms out in front of you. Palms about shoulders distance apart. Now lean into the palms. Get all your weight into your hands. Lean towards your toes. See how we separated about a foot? Either step back from here or hop up, float back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, back to downward dog. All right, so it's gonna get a little bit more intense, but you guys do what you can. Take breaks when you need to take a break. All right, so we'll lift our right leg. Reach out through the heel. Bend your right knee, point the knee to the ceiling, bring your foot to the outside of your left thigh. Option to flip it, come out to Karasana, wild thing. Arch through the upper back, find that back bend in the thoracic spine. Look down at the ground, bring your right hand back down as the right leg lifts again. Exhale, bend your right knee, bring the right knee to the outside of the right arm, hold, or lean forward, bend the elbows, find chaturanga. So he's gonna get the knee up high. He could even float this. We're not gonna hop back out of it, but this is a half line locust. Ekapada Vinyasa, or Ardha Ekapada. And then right leg lifts again, inhale. Exhale, bend your knee, bring it over to the left elbow, up above the elbow, and now slide your foot along the left side off the mat. Pivot your left heel down to the center of the mat and feel your left foot rooted. Fallen star. We'll extend the left arm over the head, arch through the upper back. Hold here a moment. You could have a seat or bend your right knee, hold on to your right knee with your left hand, or hold on to your big toe with your left hand. Vasisthasana. So feel the left foot rooted to the ground. Turn the torso towards the ceiling. If you're holding your foot, gently release it. Bring the left hand back down to the ground. Right leg lifts again. Side plank on your left. So roll to the outside edge of your left foot. Stack your right foot. Option to bring the left knee down here or bring your right foot behind you. Like that, yeah. Or that. Thanks, Andy. Okay, but Andy can't do that one. He's got to do the full one. So come back to side plank. Lift your right knee. Bring your knee into your hand with your right hand, or hold on to your big toe. Nice, and then lift the heel up towards the ceiling. Ooh, I'm not gonna make him hold it too long. Look down at the ground. Place your right foot back to the front of your mat. Pivot onto the toes of your back foot. Fingertips are gonna be on either side of your right foot. Straighten your front leg. Lift the heart, inhale. Exhale, fold. Good, bend your right knee again. And on your next inhale, come up to your high lunge. Feel the outside edge or the back of the left knee reaching to the ceiling. Right arm's gonna come down. We're gonna keep twisting. Left arm comes down, right arm goes up. Skandasana on your right. So angle the right knee and toe, sit back by the right heel. Point your left foot to the back of the mat, turn it right into reverse warrior. So inhale, reach forward. Exhale to reverse warrior. Okay, we're taking half moon again, but it's going to be twisted half moon, Parvrita Ardha Chandrasana. So you might need to shorten your stance. The right hand's going to come down to the ground. Hips are level like they were in standing splits. Left shoulder and fingertips reach. You can have your hand on a block. Either stay here or option to bind. You can bend your right knee, reach back to the pinky toe side of your foot. And then bring the hands down to the ground. Bend both knees, forehead to your knees, round out the back. Just taking a little break. Let's get ready. So we're coming into stork again. Left foot still on the ground. Right knee reaches, fingertips reach. Good. And now bring your left hand to the outside of your right knee, or come into twisted finger to toe pose, Parvrita. Twist through the upper torso. Look back at the right hand. You can also be holding the knee right here. All right, we're going to move this into twisted triangle. So we're going to let go of the right foot, step the right foot back towards the back of the mat, square up your hips, and then twist to the left. Right hand comes down to the ground. Now, it could be inside or outside the foot. Okay, your hips are level, just like we did earlier. Feeling the outside edge of the back foot, inside edge of the front foot. Your right hand could be inside or outside your foot. And then look down at the ground. Bring your hands to either side of your foot. Come to the toes of your back foot. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, come up. Bend your left knee, lift your right leg. Just for a moment, we're going to step it back into a lunge. But we're going to keep our hands on the ground. Okay, bring your left foot back. Move through a vinyasa. So you could go into downward dog or chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. All right, and let's lift our right leg. Reach out through the heel. Inhale. Bend your right knee. Bring your knee to your forehead. Place your right foot next to the inside of your right hand. Inhale, come up to your high lunge. And we're going to move this into eagle pose from here. So you might need to shorten your stance. Press your weight into your right foot. Begin to lift your left knee. Bend both knees. Cross your left leg over your right leg. Maybe hook your foot behind your calf. Opposite with the arms, left under the right. Squeeze the elbows towards each other and come down a little bit lower. Start to squat down. Begin to fold out over the thighs, but keep your eyes focused, your drishti. Now keep your arms the same, but unravel the legs. Extend your left leg behind you. Keep your arms the same, but come into essentially skandasana. So you bring your left toes to the ground, angle your right knee into a 45-degree angle, come to the inside edge of the foot. Okay, look at your left foot, turn this into reverse warrior. So we'll inhale, forward, exhale to reverse warrior. Now inhale, come back up, pivot onto the toes of your back foot, bring both hands to the inside of your left foot. Okay, option to take lizard pose here, so you can keep your hands where they are, they could be on blocks. You could bring your forearms down to the ground on the inside of your foot. Ooh, he's got the hot yoga towel out. This is so...
Kicking my butt.
This is really
He's a butt
awesome.
kicker.
Yay.
Ooh-wee.
Told you should have gone to bed earlier last night.
I know.
All right, so your arms arms could be on the inside of your knee. Obviously, we're warming up the hips here. I'm going to walk you guys through a full Vinyasa if you're feeling that. If you're not feeling it, stay right here, okay? Full, Ekapada Vinyasa, so one-legged flying locust. So you can stay as you are, or curl your right toes under to lift your right knee up off the floor. Start to get your left shoulder behind your left knee. So he's going to go down underneath the left knee. Arm comes around and he brings his hands on either side of his foot. Begin to inch your left foot out in front of you a little bit. It can go out in front or off to the side, just depends on hamstring ability. Okay? And now bend your elbows and move forward into Chaturanga. Imagine you're trying to bring your right hip to rest on your right elbow. And you could rest it too. Eventually it'll float off. Now either step back from here into Chaturanga or float to Chaturanga. And we'll all meet in Downward Dog. Inhale, Upward Dog. Exhale, back to Downward Dog. Take a moment. And then let's lift our left leg. Reach out through the heel from Downward Dog. Bend the left knee. Point the knee to the ceiling. Option to flip your dog. Come out to Karasana. So right toes come down to the ground. Right leg is straight. Look back down at the ground. Bring your left hand back down. Lift the left leg again. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knee. Bring the knee to the outside of the left arm. Touch high above the elbow. Half flying locust if you want to take it here. Inhale, reach it back again. Exhale, bend the knee. Bring the knee to the outside of the right arm. Touch above the elbow. And now extend your foot along the floor. Pivot the right heel down to the ground. Fallen star, right arm reaches over the head. You can stay here, you can have a seat, or right hand is going to hold on to the left knee, or hold on to the outside edge of your foot or your big toe, and straighten the leg eventually. Vashisthasana. Strong right leg. Turn the torso towards the ceiling. If you're holding this, let it go gently. Bring the right hand back down. Lift the left leg again. Inhale. Now roll to the outside edge of your right foot. Stack your left foot on top. Or come down to the right knee is an option. Like that. Or you'll just step your left foot behind you in side plank. Good. Now if you got full side plank or not, hold on to your left knee with your left hand or hold on to the big toe. And Vashisthasana here. Last hard one. Well, maybe. Okay, and now look down at the ground, step your left foot to the front of the mat. You're in your lunge. Begin to straighten your front leg. Lift your heart, inhale. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold. And then bend the left knee and inhale to your high lunge. Come all the way up. Exhale, bring the left arm down as you twist to the left. Open the heart to the left side of your mat. Right hand comes down, left arm up. Skandasana on your left. So you'll sit back by the left heel. Right toes point to the back of your mat. Straight into reverse warrior. So you're going to bend the right knee. Left big toe points forward. Reverse warrior. This one turns into twisted half moon. The left hand comes down, hips are level, twist through the upper torso. Option here to bend your left knee and you'll actually hold on to the pinky toe side of your foot. Like this Gently release with your hands to the ground. Let's bend our knees, bring your forehead to your knees, round out the back. Shift your weight to your right foot when you're ready and come up into stork. So your left knee is reaching to the ceiling this time, fingertips reach to the ceiling. Okay, and then right hand's going to hold on to the outside of the left foot, or left knee I mean, or outside edge of the left foot. The left shoulder turns towards the front of your mat, what was the front. Maybe even look back at your fingertips. So very carefully we'll turn this into twisted triangle. So gently let go of the left foot, step it back. Look at your right foot, Andy. Make sure the right knee and toes are pointing straight ahead. I caught him, you guys. Caught me. So right hip back, tilt the pelvis forward, squeeze the inner thighs and spread your toes. Hand can be on a block, knees can be bent, there's lots of options. And then look down at the ground, bring your hands to either side of your foot and pivot onto the toes of your back foot. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, fold. Let's bend our right knee, step all the way back into your lunge. We'll keep our hands on the ground and step back into your plank. Either go right into downward dog or chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. Let's find your breath again, you guys. It got a little intense there. Alright, and let's inhale, lift the left leg. Reach out through your heel. Exhale, bend the knee, bring the knee to your forehead. Place your left foot to the inside of your left hand and stay on the toes of your right foot. Inhale to your high lunge. So we're turning this one into eagle pose. Virundasana, so start to lean your weight towards your left foot. Lift your right leg. Cross your right thigh over your left thigh. Bend the knees. Possibly hook your foot around your calf or just rest your toes on the floor. Arms are the opposite. Squeeze the elbows. Right arm's under the left arm. Come down a little bit lower. Keep your eyes focused. Begin to fold out over your thigh. Now keep your eyes focused, keep your arms the same, but unravel your right leg, extend it back behind you. Bend your left knee, come into your lunge, and right into Skadasana. He did that super fast. Okay. Now look at your right foot, point it towards the front of your mat, move that right into your reverse warrior. Exhale to reverse. Pivot onto the toes of your back foot. Bring your hands inside your front foot. Hands will go to the inside of the front foot, and we'll take lizard again. So you can have your hands directly on the mat. You can have your forearms on your blocks. You can bring your left knee down to the ground, or keep the toes curled under and knee off the floor. How you doing, Andy?
Awesome.
How are you guys doing?
Awesome. I'm just going to speak for you guys since
we can't see the phone, but
it's hard to communicate like that.
post something in the comments so we know how you are, so we can see it later. All right, so you can hang out here for a few more breaths. If you got it in you and you feel like you really want to take another flying look at this. Yeah, so see how he's bringing his shoulder behind the right knee, and he's bringing the hand out to the outside of the right foot. Before you move into chaturanga, see how he inched his foot out like that? And everybody's a little different. Sometimes the leg comes out like that, sometimes it goes out in front. And then begin to float the left leg. Step or float back, crawl back, wobble back, step back, just get back. Back to downward dog. All right. Take a few breaths here, maybe take a water break, or if you have water. All right. So we're going to come down onto our forearms and work on Sphinx pose. So come all the way down onto your belly. Now Andy's modifying because he's got something going on with his wrist from an old surgery, but Sphinx is usually palms are flat like that. And the elbows bring them back a little bit underneath your shoulders. And then imagine you're kind of trying to drag the mat back as you lift your sternum. Lightly pull the abs in. Move the tailbone towards your heels, and you're on the tops of your feet and your legs are together. So we're finding a little bit of a back bend in the thoracic spine. Slight tuck of your chin when you're here, but on your next exhale, tuck your chin and then lift up your hips, your thighs, your knees, so you're only on the tops of the feet. Abs are in. This is a little bit of core strength for 3, 2, and on 1, inhale, come back down, pull the heart through, find the back bend again. Roll the shoulders back. We'll do 2 more. On your next exhale, tuck the chin, pull the abs in, lift up the hips, lift up the thighs, the knees, the shins. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, come back down. Lightly pull the abs in, but roll the shoulders back, lift the sternum. And last one. So next exhale, pull it in, but you keep your breath when you're in there through the count. For 3, 2, and 1. Good, come back down. All right, guys, we're gonna move into puppy dog pose. So come to your palms and scoot back. so that your hips are right above your knees. Your knees are gonna be hips distance apart. Now we've done a lot with the shoulders, so your shoulders might be more open than they normally are. Careful of overstretching in this pose. Keep your shoulders in your sockets, okay? So palms or arms are out in front of you. Arm bones are pulled into the sockets. Externally rotate your triceps, so roll them away from your shoulders, but at the same time, forearms come in down towards the mat. Okay? And it's almost like you're trying to touch your chin or your chest down to the mat. All right, either stay here or we're going to do a few rounds of cat-cow in this. So as you exhale, you're going to round your back, pull the abs in and tuck your chin. Then as you inhale, come back down chest towards the floor. Exhale, round the back, tuck the chin. Inhale, come back to puppy dog pose. 2 more times. Exhale as you round the back, tuck the chin. Inhale, puppy dog pose. And last one. Exhale. And inhale, back to puppy. Good. And now walk your hands back up towards you. We're going to be on the knees for Ustrasana. So for some of you might want 2 blocks, right? Because we're going to reach back. If you don't have 2 blocks, you can curl the toes under like this so that your heels are higher. Or don't even think about grabbing the heels if this is something new for you. You've got something going on with your neck or your back. A block could also be used in between your thighs just to help you squeeze that, create a little bit of internal rotation. Better for the lower back. All right, so we're going to start by lifting the left arm up, kind of cross it over your body like that, and reach back with your right hand or your right hip, just like that. Then switch side. Inhale, bring the right arm up and over. Reach back for your left hamstring or calf. One more time on each side. Right hand back, left arm over. And then left arm down, right arm over. So each time you went a little bit further. And then inhale, come back up. All right, now bring your palms to your lower back, so hands kind of point down or whatever feels right to you. You want to try to get that action of bringing the tailbone down, lightly pull the abs in. Begin to shift the hips forward, but lift out of your hips. Lift the heart and roll the shoulders back. Stay here, or bring your hands back to your heels, one hand at a time or both. Good. You could be on the tops of your feet. You could have your hands on your heels or on the floor. 3, 2, now come out using core strength, your entire torso. Inhale, come back up just as slow as you went in. And let's have a seat back on our heels for a rabbit pose. So your arms will be by your sides, let your forehead touch the ground. Reach back and hold on to either your heels or the arches of your feet. Tuck your chin completely and then pick up your hips and really round out the spine. It's kind of a nice counter stretch, just go slow. And we'll do one more camel pose. Okay, so come back up, inhale, reach the arms over the head, and then exhale, hands behind you. You're welcome to stay just like this. Okay, if you're going into the full pose and you do one hand at a time, do the opposite this side. When you're ready, once you have your hands where they're going to be, shift the hips forward and think of lifting the heart up towards the ceiling. Keep the inner thighs spiraling in. 2 more breaths. Good. And then slowly come back up. Tap into that strength all along your torso. One last time here into rabbit or child's pose. Forehead to the ground. If you're doing rabbit pose, hold on to the heels or the arches of your feet. Lift up the tailbone and tuck your chin. And we'll slowly come back up. So inhale the arms all the way up. And then exhale. Let's bring our hands out in front, come into downward dog. So we're going to end up back on the floor on our back. So if you want to just stay where you're at, you can. Otherwise, we're coming into downward dog and we'll float through to a seated position. So if you're floating through, bring the feet through the arms. Good. And then bend your knees, get your feet flat on the ground, about hips distance apart. Tap into the lower abdominals as you slowly roll down onto your back. Good. All right, so your heels are going to be about underneath your knees. You could grab that block again like you did in camel, place it in between the thighs, or not. The first one we're going to do is bridge pose. So Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. So feet are hips distance apart. Feel every corner of your feet, heels right underneath your knees. Arms are by your sides. And then begin to roll up one vertebra at a time, starting with the tailbone. So we'll roll all the way up until we get up towards the shoulders. Lean over to your right shoulder, tuck your left shoulder behind you. Lean to your left shoulder, tuck your right shoulder behind you. Maybe you'll interlace your fingers here. Maybe you'll hold your ankles. Or if you got your block, you can place it underneath your tailbone, the upper part of your tailbone. Just keep your neck off the floor, so you want to keep a slight arch in the neck by holding the head back. So you feel the back of your head as opposed to, C7, that big bone. And then bring your arms out of the way and roll back down, one vertebra at a time. And then just swish to your knees side to side, just releasing the lower back. If it feels better to you to hug your knees in, do that. We're going to do 2 more back bends. So you got the option of bridge pose, Setu Bandha, Sarvangasana, the one we just did, or Urdhva Dhanurasana, full back bend. So I'm going to set you up for both. They're pretty much the same setup, feet hips distance apart. Begin to roll up until you're on the tops of your shoulders. If you're taking full, so this is bridge pose. If you're taking full back bend, bring your hands behind you, point your fingers to your shoulders, point your elbows up towards the ceiling. Play with turning your hands in or out just to see what feels better. Inhale, and on your exhale, come just to the top of your head for a moment, but press into the palms, not your head, okay? And think of spiraling the inner thighs down. Feel every corner of your palms. Begin to straighten your arms. Once it feels like your arms are where they're gonna go, then bring your heart through your arms. Relax the face, the neck, and breathe. 3, 2, and 1. Tuck your chin to your chest, and then slowly roll back down. Feet are about hips distance. You can just rock the knees side to side or hug your knees in towards you. And last back bend, so either bridge or Urdhva Dhanurasana. So feet hips distance apart. See how he likes to reach his arms over? I like doing that too. Just get that length. Inhale, and on your exhale, press that. So work on getting the arms straight first, and then bring the heart through the arms. Begin to shorten your stance. Walk your hands and feet a little bit closer. Do you want help? Yeah, nice. You can rock back and forth, shifting your weight from your feet to your hands. That was a really nice back bend exit. Good job. And I didn't even have to help him. That's amazing. All right, guys, he's back up to standing. If you came up out of your back bend, go through Vinyasa. You're gonna meet, back down. All right, even though he's back down, that's because where the majority of people are. Now bring your knees, rock back and forth. Now you got an option. You can float up to the top, float back to Chaturanga, or come up to the top of your mat, step back into downward dog, okay? So floating up, palms flat, fit the feet through, Chaturanga. Inhale the upward dog, exhale back to downward dog. It's gonna feel like we're getting ready to go through some more standing poses. It's only the transition into them. We're actually starting to work on a few floor poses. So step your right foot between your hands. Stay on the toes of your back foot, inhale to your high lunge for just a moment. Straighten your right leg, turn your left hip down to the center of your mat. Right toes are pointing up to the ceiling, and like you're going into Skandasana, but we're actually gonna sit down on the floor behind the left heel. All right, so you can hug your left knee in towards you if this feels like it's enough on the hips and maybe add a twist. Or right hand's gonna hold on to your left ankle. Left arm extends over the head as you hinge out over the inside of your right thigh. Eventually you could reach around or over the head and hold on to the pinky toe side of your right foot. Think more here about lengthen through the spine on your inhale, and on your exhale, twisting torso towards the ceiling. And so the right shoulder kind of tucks under, left foot stays flat to the ground. And on your next inhale, come back up. And let's bring our left heel to the inside of your right thigh. And yeah, shift your hips so that you're facing the front of your mat, so you're just more comfortable when in the line on your mat. Janishirsasana. So a block could always go underneath your left knee too. Inhale as you reach the arms up, right foot's flexed. Exhale, hinge and fold out over your right leg. So options, right knee can be bent. A strap could be around the foot. Just keep the shoulders relaxed. You can hold your foot, your shin, your ankle. But relax the shoulders and move your heart towards your toes. left arm up, bring your left hand to the back left corner of your mat, right hand to the right corner. Good. And see how he's on his left knee, kind of a modified side plank. Right hand's gonna come down to the right corner of the mat as you pivot onto the toes of your right foot and lift your left leg into your three-legged downward dog at the back of the mat. Exhale, bend the knee, bring your knee to your forehead, and step your left foot, stay inside of the hand. Inhale to your high lunge. Begin to straighten your left leg. Right heel comes down, left toes up to the ceiling, and then sit down behind your right heel. Set up. So you can stay seated and just stay here in this twist like Andy's in, or hold on to the ankle with your left hand. Left shoulder now on the inside of the knee. Heart turns towards the ceiling. Maybe hold on to the outside edge of your foot. Find your breath and begin to slow it down, but still full deep breaths through the nose. And inhale, come back up slowly. And we'll bring our right heel now to the left inner thigh. Maybe scoot yourself over to the right a little bit in case you came off the mat a little. You can keep a bend in the left knee. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, fold. So once it's available to you to straighten the leg, go for it. But just notice when you straighten your leg, does it make you round your back more? So just decide which thing you want. Each inhale, lengthen. And each exhale, hinging, folding. On your next inhale, come back up. Right arm's gonna come up. The right hand's gonna come to the right corner of the mat. You're gonna come to your right knee as the left leg stays extended just for a moment, a kind of a modified side plank or gate pose. Left hand comes down, pivot onto the toes, lift your right leg, three-legged downward dog. Inhale. And then we'll move this into pigeon on your right. So cross your right shin at the front of the mat. Okay? If the hips are a little tight, you can bring your right heel towards your left hip. You can place a block underneath the right sit bone. Or maybe you do more of a reclining pigeon from your back, like a figure four. So fingertips on the ground, and even pick yourself up to situate your hips so they're level. So right hip's gonna go back a little bit, left hip's gonna come forward and inward, like you're trying to level out the hips. On your next exhale, fold, roll the spine along the floor. You could rest your forehead on a block or on the floor. Left toes point straight back. And if you need to come out of this and kind of resituate yourself until it feels right, go there. Just keep coming back to the breath. Up onto the fingertips, but bring your fingertips off the side of the mat. Tent your fingers, roll up one vertebra at a time. Now lean way over to your right side, and if it isn't already, get your shin parallel with the front of the mat. I'm gonna go to this. So we're here, you're gonna lean way over to the right, and then swing your left leg around. And then cross your left leg above your right. If it's a little tight, this left knee is gonna be floating up a little bit. Not a big deal, you could place a blanket underneath or a towel or your block underneath the knee, or just take this left heel and bring it in front of your right knee. Vaikata, Rajaputtanasana. Point your toes towards each other so you're protecting your knees and keep your feet flexed. Now either stay just like this, maybe close the eyes and find your breath, or begin to hinge out over to one side. Take a deep inhale there, lengthen the spine. And then as you exhale, maybe go to the other side. Inhale, come up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Now you could just keep moving back and forth like that, or eventually you'll fold right out over it. You could rest your hands on your hand, or your forehead on your hands, or on the block, or stay seated. Relax the shoulders. Make sure your sit bones stay rooted too. That's your foundation. your chin, begin to roll back up one vertebra at a time. Take your left foot, bring it to the outside of your right thigh. Take your right heel and bring it next to your left sit bone. So this foot's gonna stay flat on the ground. If this doesn't feel right on this right leg or this right knee, keep that one straight. Hug your knee in towards you with your right arm. Left arm goes back behind you. Or, like Annie's doing, right tricep on the outside of the knee. Press the knee and arm together. Inhale, lengthen all the way out through the crown of your head. On your exhale, twist and begin to look over your left shoulder. And then inhale, look forward. Let's release the hands, cross the ankles. Bring your hands out in front of you. Okay, either step back or float back to chaturanga. Okay, we're gonna meet in downward dog, so you're not feeling the whole Vinyasa flow thing here. We'll meet right back in downward dog. Okay, lift your left leg, reach out through your heel. Bend the knee, bring it towards your forehead and cross your shin out in front of you. So pigeon on the left. So Andy's got his shin pretty far out there. His hips are pretty open in this position. So that's pretty far out. If you aren't able to get it quite that far out, don't feel obligated. You can bring, the heel in like that, close to the hip. You can also use a block underneath the left sit bone. Fingertips on the ground, heart lifts. Get your hips to the same height by shifting your left hip back, right hip forward a little. When you're ready, roll along the floor on your exhale. Fingertips off the mat, off to the sides, tent the fingers, roll up one vertebra at a time. Lean way over to your left side, it just makes it a little bit easier to set up for Vipada. So shin eventually is parallel with the front of your mat, and your legs are stacked like fireworks. Okay, you can also place the block underneath the knee, or just take your right heel, bring it in front of your left knee. Whenever you're ready, fold out over to one side, but keep the sit bones as much as possible rooted towards the ground. And then you'll walk over to the other side, maybe come up halfway, inhale, lengthen, and exhale as you fold. You could continue to move back and forth like that, or eventually fold, rest your forehead on the ground or on your hands or a block. Inhale, we'll slowly roll back up. Now bring your right foot on the outside of your left thigh. Bring your left heel towards your sit bone, your right sit bone. Right arm's behind you, right along your spine to remind you to keep length there. You can either hug the knee in towards you from the front of the knee with your left arm, or tricep comes to the outside of the knee. Inhale as you lengthen and extend all the way out through the crown of your head. And as you twist on your exhale, again, find upper torso twist. Looking over the right shoulder eventually. It's like your belly button still points towards the front of the mat, but your heart's going towards the side of your mat. And inhale, look forward, and let's release. Bring your feet out in front of you this time, feet flat on the ground. Lightly pull the abs in and slowly roll all the way down onto your back. And when you get there, hug your knees in towards your chest or towards your armpits. Just rock side to side or back and forth, little circles. If you need one last little inversion or one last hamstring stretch, extend your heels up towards the ceiling. a modified plow pose, you'll start to bring your shin towards you. And it's like you're trying to keep the mid back on the ground, just to get that one last stretch in the spine, but you're not on the neck. And then gently roll back out of that. Now let's bend our knees. You can even touch your toes to the ground. Shift your hips right now over to the left side of your mat a little bit. And then bring your knees to the right side of your mat. Your arms will come out to the sides. Okay, you've got lots of options. You can intertwine the legs. You can use your right hand to hold the knees. You can bring the knees in closer, further away. Inhale, bring the knees back up and switch sides. So your right hip's gonna shift over to the right. Next exhale, knees to the left as you look over your right shoulder. And inhale, bring the knees back up and hug your knees here one last time. We'll start to prepare for Shavasana. So I will pull you guys out of Shavasana. If you need to go, you can go, but it's just going to be 5 minutes. So whenever you're ready, start to set yourself up in a comfortable resting position, and really whatever that means to you. Maybe you want to bolster a blanket underneath your knees. I like to close my eyes in Shavasana. Just do a little scan of your body once you get into a comfortable position, and notice any areas where maybe you're still holding some tension. Take your breath there, just your natural breath, but take a deep inhale into it, and on your exhale, allow it to soften. Sometimes I like to imagine just any, tension or anything like that just melting into the ground. And each inhale that you take, almost like this newfound energy or life source. And each exhale you take, letting go of things that no longer serve you or anyone. And you're surrounded by love. I am 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 surrounded by love.
Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. When you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. The water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
Gradually begin taking deeper breaths. Just start to bring some movement back to your body, wiggling your fingers, your toes. Take your time coming back up to a seated position. bend your knees, reach your arms over your head, and just roll to your side. And rest there for a couple breaths, but when you're ready, come back to a comfortable seated position, Sukhasana. So just any comfortable seated position, and consider closing your eyes. And when you get to that position, just rest your wrists either on your knees or on your lap with your palms up and elbows bent. And we'll lift the heart, but roll the shoulders down the back. Slight tuck of your chin towards your chest. Slight arch in the lower back. One last time, bring your awareness back to your Ujjayi breath. So you're breathing through the nose. And each inhale that you take, imagine you're lifting from the pelvic floor, moving that energy all the way up the spine, out through the crown of your head. Each exhale that you take, lightly pull the lower abdominals in and up and bring that newfound energy back down the spine, rooted down into the earth, into your reality. Stay with this breath, keep your elbows bent, and on your next inhale, reach your arms over your head. And then the palms face the floor as you exhale, bring it back down. One more time, palms up, inhale, arms reach over your head. And palms down, exhale. Palms come together, thumbs to your heart. Slight tuck of your chin, Anjali Mudra. I'm just remembering right here where the thumbs are, where the heart is. But deep down past all of these things that are going on in the world right now, there's peace there. It resides within all of us. We all have the ability to tap into that. Take your thumbs, bring it to in between your eyes, your forehead, your third eye. And just knowing that that energy, that positive heart energy, can also go to the mind. Settle there and create new neural pathways. And then bring your thumbs to your mouth. And remember to speak from that truth, that peace, that love that is within all of us. Namaste. Namaste. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I forgot to adjust the Indian Shavasana again.
Oh.
All right, so next class is Tuesday night, 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. Give us some feedback, you guys, anything, because this is, again, new for us, this whole, we've done videos, but we haven't done the live streaming thing. So any kind of feedback on time, on tone, on pace, on anything. And you can send it private if it's bad. Private message if it's good. Anyway, take care, you guys. Wash your hands. Stay home. Peace.